Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Welcome to our presentation.
Before we start our presentation, let us introduce ourselves. The first is me, Nia Astuti,
And me, Pritinia Rohmawati.
And me, Dea Rizky Amelia. The first presentation will be delivered by me. Single subject research. The title is Effect of Ordinary and Adaptive Toys on Preschool Children with Developmental Disabilities. Research question is what the effect of ordinary and adaptive toys on preschool children with developmental disabilities. And the next is research objective is to investigate the effects of adaptive toys on the toy play behaviors. Hypothesis is nothing and the variable types is nothing. And the next is population and sample. The population on this study are 3 children were diagnosed as having developmental disabilities. And the sample on this study are, the first one is a 3 years 6 months old Taiwanese boy as subject 1. The second is a 4-year 1 month old Taiwanese girl as subject 2. And the third is a 4-year 9 month old boy as subject 3. And the last is instrumentation, is toy play materials. The next is about survey research. The title is a descriptive survey research study of the student characteristic influencing the 4 theoretical sorts of mathematical self-efficacy of college freshmen. The research question is, what student characteristic influence the 4 sorts of mathematical self-efficacy, if any? And the research objectives is to determine which student characteristic, race, gender, sexual orientation, and hometown location influence the sorts of mathematical self-efficacy of college freshmen. And hypothesis is that groups of students will be influenced by similar sorts of self-efficacy. And the next is variable types. The variable types is dependent and independent variable. And the next is population and sample. The population of this study was college freshmen attending small, private, not-for-profit 4-year universities. And the sample was taken an online filtering process of the Carnegie Foundation classification of college and universities, or Carnegie Foundation. And the last is instrumentation, use a valid and calibrated instrument.
And next, experimental research. The title is The Effects of Watching Caption Presentation Videos on Vocabulary Knowledge of the Second Semester Students of English Department in Mullerman University in academic year 2015 and 2016. The research questions are, the first one, is there any significant difference between pre-test and post-test of the experimental group watching caption videos? The second, is there any significant difference between pre-test and post-test of the control group watching videos without caption? And the last one, is there any significant difference between experimental and control group? And then, the purpose of the study. The first one is find out the significant difference between pre-test and post-test of the experimental group watching caption videos. The second is find out the significant difference between pre-test of the control group watching videos without caption. And the last one is find out the significant difference between experimental and control group. Then, hypothesis. No hypothesis 1. There is no significant difference between pre-test and post-test of the experimental group watching caption videos. Null hypothesis 2. There is no significant difference between pre-test and post-test of the control group watching videos without caption. Null hypothesis 3. There is no significant difference between experimental and control group. Alternative hypothesis 1. There is significant difference between pre-test and post-test of the experimental group watching caption videos. Alternative hypothesis 2. There is significant difference between pre-test and post-test of the control group watching videos without caption. And the last alternative hypothesis 3, there is a significant difference between experimental and control group. And then population and sample. Population of this study was 2015 batch of English department students of Mullah Warman University, which were divided into 4 classes, A, B, C, and D. This study used random sampling. The sample was taken randomly to get 2 groups. From whole population, the researcher took his subjects for experimental group and his subjects for control group. And then, instruments. The treatment used in the study was presentation videos. There were 4 videos, approximately 10, 5, 2, and 6 minutes in length. So, the presentation. The test used in this research was adopted from Vocabulary Size Test by Paul Nation 2007. The total items were 40 numbers. And then, the last one is data collection technique. The first one is giving the pre-test to the both groups in the first day. The test was conducted for 30 minutes. And then, giving the treatment a week, later by using presentation videos for 4 meetings, 4 weeks, to the both groups. And then, giving the post-test in the final week. And then, collecting the scores to find out the result. And the last one is analyzing the data to see the effect of caption and non-caption video using t-test formula.
Next, correlation research. The title is The Correlation Grammar Mastery and Writing Ability. Research question. Is there any significant correlation between student grammar mastery and their writing ability? Research objective. To know whether there is a significant correlation between grammar mastery and writing ability. Population. Student of 6th semester. Total number 120 students, divided into 3 classes, 6A, 6B, and 6C. Sample on this study. The B class of the 6th semester, the researcher took 30 students. Instrument on this study. Documentation score. And the last, data collection technique. Grammar test and documentation of score. And the next, causal comparative research. The title is The comparative analysis of student learning style on their achievement. Research question. Is there any significant difference of student reading skill based on their visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning style? Research objective. To know and describe the different score of reading skill for visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning style at MTS Muhammadiyah 1 Ciputat. Population. Second grade student of junior high school MTS Muhammadiyah 1 Ciputat. There are about 120 students. Sample. 30 students from second grade of junior high school MTS Muhammadiyah 1 Ciputat from 3 classes that follow remedial midterm test. Instrument. Questionnaire and documentation score. And the last, data collection technique. Questionnaire and documentation score. I think enough for our presentation. Thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.